Hey everyone, how's it going? It's your girl Rocket Gal, and today I'm going to showcase the entire Fire Emblem Armory Collection. Here you can see the 5 weapons released in the first wave, the 3 houses weapons, and the weapons from the second wave. The first wave consists of the Falchion, wielded by Marth, the Ragnall, the Falchion wielded by Chrom, the Binding Blade, and the Yato. The Falchion wielded by Marth was released in July 2019. Next to be released were the Ragnall and the Falchion wielded by Chrom on September 2019. Finishing off the wave were the Binding Blade and the Yato, which were released on November 2019. Each of these were priced at 3,700 yen. The signature weapons of the 3 lords of 3 houses, Amir, Eredbar, and Failnaught, were originally given out as limited edition items in the Fire Emblem Expo 2 event. However, because the event was cancelled, they ended up being sold on the Expo's website, though I'm not 100% sure on that or the price they went for, so please correct me if I'm wrong. The Sword of the Creator was released separate from any wave on January 2021 for 4,000 yen. Wave 2 starts out with the weapons from Genealogy of the Holy War. The Turfing, Gaybolg, and Mistletain were released on September 2021 as a mini-set. Next up are some weapons from Alib. The Solkati, Durandal, and Armads were released on October 2021 as a mini-set. Finally, the Binding Shield from Awakening was released on November 2021. Each of these were priced at 4,400 yen. Let's take a closer look at these weapons. Here's Marths Falchion, which is based on the Falchion from Shadow Dragon in the Blade of Light and Mystery of the Emblem, not the remakes, where the Falchion looks more like this. The red jewel here really pops out next to the gold of the rest of the sword. The sword is a bit plain, but definitely a classic. Here is the Ragnall from Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. Unlike the Falchion, the sword is a lot more intricate. I really like the little green jewels, though they don't stand out as much as the Falchion's jewel. The blade is long and thin, making it a lot heavier than the Falchion, so there's definitely some meat on its bones. One of my favorites for sure. Here is the Falchion wielded by Chrom in Awakening. Its most defining attribute is a large hole in its crossguard, which, if I'm being honest, has never been one of my favorite designs, though I like it when it becomes the Exalted Falchion and it gets this symbol in the hole. The sword's blade is pretty thick, so it's got some weight to it. Overall, a solid sword. Next is the Binding Blade from the Binding Blade. This one has got to be one of my favorites. I always like the crossguard, where it has these wing-like things here and some intricate designs in the wings, which to me kind of looks like dragons. This sword also has a red jewel and a nice thickish blade. A top pick from me. Finishing off the first wave is the Yato from Fates. This is just the plain Yato without any upgrades. The hilt is really detailed and looks cool, but I imagine using this sword in real life would hurt your hand really quickly. The hilt is uneven, and that middle part that bulges out looks like it could really wear down the user's hand. The blade here has 4 ovals that signify which divine weapon has upgraded it. Overall, not my favorite, but still really cool. I would like to one day see an Armory Collection of the other forms of the Yato, particularly the Blazing Yato, the Shadow Yato, and of course, the Omega Yato. Next up is Amir from the Foldland mini-set. It's pretty well detailed, though it doesn't show the crest stone. However, this is also the case with Eredbar and Failnaught. One thing I noticed was that the handle is a lot longer compared to its official depiction. Though it looks like the handle's length does vary, so who knows. Here's Eredbar. Again, really nice and detailed, but the lance seems kind of short, though I suspect it's because they want to have all 3 weapons in the set to be around the same length. Still, I wish it was a little bit longer. Here's Fail Not. This one is my favorite in the set, but sometimes I have trouble telling if it's upside down or right side up. Easy way to tell is that the crest stone is in the upper half and the ribbon is on the lower part. Overall, these three make a great set. Here is the Sword of the Creator from 3 houses. The hilt here has some cracks, which makes sense given how the sword was created. In fact, everything about this sword is really jagged and sloppily put together, and I mean that in a good way. That being said, this sword is not one of my favorites, as I'm not a big fan of the lighter swords. Still, a great addition to any 3 Houses fans collection. Next up is the set from Drukdrol. First up is the Turfing, wielded by Sigurd and Selif. This one basically looks like a smaller falchion, though I'm pretty sure there's no lore relevance to it. It's simple and pretty cute. Here's the Gay Bolg, which always kind of looked like the Gradavis to me. The body of the lance is really thin with this line going around it, which is supposed to be the rope. The head of the spear is nice and detailed, with a red jewel on its center. Here's the Mistletain, the Demon Blade, not to be confused by the weapon wielded by Owain. The sword has a very distinct crossguard that makes it look circular. The red jewel here makes it look like the crossguard has an eye. Not my favorite sword, but at least it's really strong in Genealogy of the Holy War. Overall, a very nice mini-set. Next up is the set from Alib, specifically from the Blazing Blade. Here's the Solkati, the sword wielded by Lyn. Fun fact, the Solkati from Heroes uses the redesign from Awakening. However, in Warriors and in this Armory Collection, its design seems to resemble its sprite design from the Blazing Blade. This sword has these bat-like wings in the crossguard and has a more katana-like look. Honestly, I gotta say it's probably one of my least favorite swords by design alone. Here's the Durandal, the sword wielded by Eliwood. Its defining feature is the jewel with a dragon design in the crossguard and its blocky look in both the crossguard and the blade. This design honestly falls really flat for me. Last in this mini set is the Axe Armads wielded by Hector. This axe is gigantic and chunky, which makes it my favorite of the 3. Because it's so chunky, the details on it look really good. It's the best weapon in the mini set by a large margin, at least in my opinion. Last but not least is the Binding Shield from Awakening. The tiny cracks on it kind of remind me of the ones from the Sword of the Creator. It includes all the gemstones, though mine arrived missing the black gem, Sable. This seems kinda fitting, as Plegia had Sable in Awakening, using it to lure Crom in after he defeated Walhart and had already acquired all the other gemstones. It's a really great pin, and it pairs well with the Awakening Falchion. So that's the end of the showcase of the entire Armory Collection. So far, there hasn't been any new announcements of any more additions to the series, but I think there will definitely be more to come. I would love to see the divine weapons wielded by the Hoshiden and Norian brothers, and the legendary weapons from Sacred Stones added one day. I hope you all enjoyed this showcase of the entire collection. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.